question that is on the group is, what is the hardest part about losing weight? And you guys had some questions, right? So here I'm gonna answer them for you, okay? We're gonna be talking about, the calories in, calories out in a very simple term. We're gonna be talking about how to, keep pushing yourself and keep getting at it and how improvement works, okay? We're gonna talk about how to overcome a little bit of sugar and cravings and why you may have it. And as well as, actually meal timing, which is super, super important, extremely important. So let's start off with, so someone's asked, personally for me, the hardest thing about losing weight is a few things. So she's got 4 points. 1, my diet is not good. 2, I feel like when I do exercise, I don't feel like any progress is happening. There's a simple answer. What exercises I should do for each area when I want to burn fat, and not having enough knowledge on food and what I should and shouldn't eat or drink. Cool. So when it comes down to this, you really got to understand that losing weight, and what I mean by that is losing and burning fat, is a simple equation, okay? Whatever goes into your body, we consider that food as energy, right? So when you eat food, that really is actually just providing your body with a certain amount of energy. So let's make it really simple. Let's say your body has a 2-liter bucket, okay? Now this 2-liter bucket, when it's filled to the brim, okay, so it's exactly 2 liters, at the end of the day, you will not either put on weight and you will not, lose weight, because you have given that bucket exactly what it needs. That bucket's not gonna overfill. However, if that bucket, that 2-liter bucket for the day, is now being given 2.5 liters worth of energy, food, right? It's gonna spill over the sides of that bucket. Now, whatever spills over the sides of the bucket turns into fat into your body, okay? And if you were to have less than 2 liters, let's say it was 1.5, and now there's a gap of, 500 mil, right? The body would now have to make up for that extra energy to fill that tank. So what that means is, now instead of that energy coming from your food, okay, your body has to decide to, contribute so that it can have enough energy to do what it needs to do, because it needs to use energy for your heart to pump, for your organs to work, your brain, all the things, your performance, moving, walking, sitting, eating, sleeping, breathing, right? So if you can get the understanding that if you eat more than what you need, it's going to spill over that bucket, okay? And that in order to lose weight, you somehow need to have your body contribute to filling whatever is in that bucket. Meaning, if you exercise extremely hard, you do work hard, your question was you don't see progress, well, more than likely, okay, your bucket is being overflowed by food. So you may actually be eating over that 2-liter bucket, but you're working out, but you're still not actually, working out hard enough to reduce what's in the bucket. In other words, your energy, okay, that you ate for the day is still more than what you needed, and so you will end up either not losing weight or staying the same. And it's very common. It's massively common. Most people don't understand that exercise alone is not it, okay? You have to understand how much are you eating? And that's where you have to really start to calculate those things. And then you asked about not having enough knowledge on food and what you should and shouldn't eat or drink. And I guess that all comes into play, doesn't it, right? So this is where you have to start looking at food as fuel. Okay, food is fuel for performance. When you eat high quality food, you get high quality performance. When you have high quality performance, you burn a lot of fat. When you burn a lot of fat, guess what happens at the end of the day? You end up losing weight. That's the equation in a very simple manner, okay? So you really want to make sure that you look at having good food and don't neglect food. Think of food as giving your body that edge to perform, to think, breathe well, all the things that you need to do to be a good, outstanding, functional person. Next, and if there's any more on that, you can ask me a question, okay, if you want to get a little deeper. Next was, I think the hardest part was, so far, pushing myself to finish the exercises due, as it's a big hurdle to jump over when you have been unfit for quite some time. Good on you, first of all, for doing this, my man. Luckily, my mother has been helping me out, although helping me out so far as well, sorry. And so although I don't understand the food, I know and trust that it's healthier than the takeaway I used to have. Massive congrats, awesome. You're pushing through the barriers, you know it's hard, but you are getting there. And just like the chat we had on the phone, right? you know, you said your perceived exertion, in other words, you worked hard this week and you felt it was very hard. Next week, doing the exact same thing will not feel as hard. And the week after that, it's going to feel easier. You're doing the same stuff, but it becomes easier because it becomes habit. It becomes more natural. And you are already feeling better as we spoke, right? 1 week in, you're feeling amazing in comparison to what you did. And it's only the first week and it'll only get better. It'll only get easier. So just keep pushing yourself. Now, one thing to note is that if the exercise is too hard for you right now and you feel it's going to stop you because you're demotivated, it's so hard, pull back a little. Pull back a little. Not enough to not make you, work a sweat, but enough so that you don't actually feel like it's too damn hard and you will quit. If you can stick to it, you'll do it. If you can't stick to it, you won't do it. That being said, you can't also make it so light that you know you'll do it, because it's too easy, then it's not going to push you. But keep going, my man. Next is, hardest part about losing weight is my love of chocolate and sugar. Makes sense. Now, there's a couple of reasons why your body may be wanting the chocolate, may be wanting the sugar. A lot of different reasons. Maybe you are, in a bad mood, and the body then tries to search for that because that food will actually send the hormones to make you feel good. Maybe you had bad sleep, okay? Because when you have bad sleep, your body doesn't find the energy that you should have had from your sleep, and it then tries to find the energy from food. And sugar and chocolate are the ultimate boost of energy. Unfortunately, it's not very clean and you feel like crap right after, which we all know. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you don't get enough recovery. Maybe your sleep quality is bad. It's all of these things combined. I don't know. You have to really look into it and say, hey, am I feeling crappy all day? Did I get a good sleep? Am I resting well? Do I feel recovered? Are my muscles still sore from working out? Or am I feeling quite good, right? Maybe as well, it's that you're not allowing enough time in between, you're not allowing enough food in your day. And so you are really hungry. You are really low on food. You are too low on carbs and the body's searching for the energy. So there's a lot of different reasons as to why, but those are some things you can dive into and have a look into, okay? And the last one, which is incredibly important, is the hardest thing for me is finding the time. Either I don't eat at all, or I grab something easy from my 1-year-old son will eat, that my 1-year-old son will eat, and just eat that. So, that is the biggest unfortunate mistake that most people make. If you do not have a meal already prepared in your fridge waiting for you for the next time that you have already set to eat, then when you get hungry, do you think it's likely that you're not going to make the greatest choice? Probably, right? So you want to make sure that the choice that you make, okay, is going to be beneficial to you. You have to make everything around you help you make the best decision. Whereas if you don't have the meals already made, if you are gonna be hungry, okay, and all that you have around you is food that's probably not the best decision that you need to make, you are actually making it as hard as possible for yourself, because you now have to rely on pure willpower to say, no, no, no. And then you have to go and actually spend an hour cooking the meal that you should have already had in the fridge. And while you're doing that, you're probably snacking on things, you're eating things you shouldn't because you're hungry, you just can't wait for the food. And all of a sudden you've eaten way too much or something you shouldn't have had. Very simple to see that, right? So something you need to do with that is as simple as making the actual meal ready in the fridge. It's good to go and it's done, it's dusted, it's ready. So meal timing, I always like to look at it and say, okay, where in my day can I sit down and have a meal? Now, if I'm too hungry in between meals in the day, have a small snack. If you don't have a small snack and by the time you get to the next meal you're starving, you'll eat that meal like no tomorrow and everything else. Okay, so it's as simple as looking at your schedule and saying, okay, hey, I've got that slot in the morning after I wake up an hour and a half later, I can have my breakfast, or directly after. Oh, okay, look, 12 o'clock, perfect. I can have my lunch then. That's when I get to sit down and eat tea. Oh, dinner's a bit late. Dinner's at 6 o'clock. So you know what? I'm gonna have a snack. I'm gonna have some fruit, some nuts, some yogurt, some carrots and hummus. In between at around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So that way I can get to dinner and I'm not starving, and when I eat my meal, I'll be in peace. And so that's really how you have to look. You have to really dissect, look at yourself, look at your time schedule, say, where can I schedule my meal in, schedule my time to prepare my meals ahead. So I always personally have 3 days, where I cook all at once, or sometimes a week, so that when I go to my fridge, it's ready. I don't have to make the hard decision. Hope that was enough. If there's any more questions, always ask down below. And this is something that we're going to start doing regularly every week. And hopefully it's enough information for you. So if there's anything more that you wanted to learn about the topics we just spoke about, because I can go far deeper, question away.